I was told I should record this. I was just on a phone call or Zoom call actually, and I was told I should record this because it was a call with the guy, and he asked me how I have work-life balance with Bitcoin and everything else, not just allocation wise, but like time wise, energy wise. And I just told him, I just laid it out for him, the brutal truth. Um, And I realized, I don't really talk about that online very much. I mean, I do here and there in snippets, but not entirely. And he said, you should talk about that. And so like, okay. So I literally just finished the call. I just hung up and I sat down here and I'm going to film this. Anyway, yeah, I don't have balance when it comes to Bitcoin. Um, I wish I did, I wish I did, but I don't. I I wish I could turn my brain off. But it's very hard for me to do. Um, People ask me, Luke, how do you make so much content? Luke, how are you so articulate about this? Luke, Luke, what about this? How do you do that? It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And like, I appreciate the support, but the blunt answer is just like, I'm way out in that bell curve. I mean, anyone that's exceptional in their field, I don't want to come across as pretentious of calling myself exceptional, but it's just reality, or perhaps a better word than exceptional is just extreme. Anyone that's extreme in their field is inherently going to be crazy to a certain degree, right? I mean, Elon Musk is kind of crazy, right? I mean, it's like, you know, I find Elon fascinating because, he doesn't have a modest lifestyle for a billionaire because he's humble or because he is trying to live a lowly life. No, it's like it's not a choice for him. The way he's built is like he just can't stop working, right? Or I mean, musicians, it's like they don't keep writing music because they want to. It's like they have to, right? It's like they are wired, they just keep writing, they keep making music, right? I mean, it's like the same thing with the end of the bell curve with like math geniuses, right? It's not like they could turn it off. It's just constant numbers and math and equations. They could just see it. It's like just the way their brain is wired, almost like it's broken to a certain degree. It's just like they're hyper focused on something. And, maybe there's something a little askew in my brain. Maybe not. I'd like to think not, but sometimes I think there is. Maybe there is. I mean, so anyway, like this guy was asking me on the call I was just on. He's like, so, balance. What does your last few days look like? I'm recording this on a Monday. Like, yeah, well, I got up Sunday, like literally within 60 seconds, I got to work. Um, Emails, contracts, editing, tech stuff, this, that, the other, budgeting, blah, 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 blah. And then I ate one meal yesterday, Sunday, and then I was like, okay, I'll go to bed about 11 p.m. And then I didn't. I just kept working and working and working, and I worked all night. I did not get a wink of sleep. Didn't eat all night, and I'd have to, I forced myself, I don't know, two or three times maybe, to get up and go on a short walk outside, which actually is kind of nice. If you don't, going on a walk where I live, it's very quiet and very quiet at night and very dark, very remote. And so actually kind of go on a walk at like 2 or 3 in the morning, or it's like very hazy and misty with the moon. It's actually really nice. Um, anyway, um, very nice and refreshing. But besides that, like I just worked, right? And not like work, quote unquote. Like some people say, oh, I'm working, and like they're just scrolling emails, doing this, whatever. Like, no, actually working, editing, doing stuff, like filling out contracts, sending emails, right? Doing all that stuff, like actual work through the whole night. By 2 a.m., I thought I was going to go to bed, but I didn't. I just kept going. By 5 a.m., I basically gave up. I was like, well, shoot, I was going to get up at 7 anyway tomorrow, which is now today. So, I just stayed up and powered through. And then, 7 a.m. this morning, I started my day. I recorded 2 YouTube videos so far today. This would be my third one I'm recording right now. I've already had 3 calls with clients and prospects, both for my job at the Bitcoin Advisor, um, helping people set up their multi-sig vaults, and then also my own consulting stuff. I've already done 3 of those put together. I've got 7 more today. Then I've got a 1 hour call with a bunch of multi-sig experts, pros. We're gonna hash out a bunch of different stuff. I mean, I live in the multi-sig space, so I'm always talking and emailing and messaging and talking to the other multi-sig people, both at the Bitcoin Advisor and other companies. So anyway, so I've got that call for like an hour tonight. Then I've got a 2 hour podcast I'm recording this evening, which those always tire me out because they're very you have to be on, right. You gotta cater the show, you gotta tell the story, you gotta make sure it's relatable to people but also still something new. So that'll be a little tiring. I've edited maybe 3 or 4 YouTube videos so far today. And then I've got, I think, a 90-minute call this evening helping onboard a couple people for Bitcoin Advisor, getting their vaults set up. And again, I'm not saying all this to brag, right? Like I'm not eating enough. Like I only had 1 meal yesterday. It's 2:22 in the afternoon, and I've only just eaten my first meal of the day, and I actually did that on the call with this guy, which I felt kind of bad for. But my I had half an hour for lunch today, and that kind of got postponed because I had to do a quick call for something else that came up. But I know a lot of people watching this might think that I'm just making this all up, but I promise and assure you everything I'm saying is 100% true. So anyway, record those 2 YouTube videos. This is my third one. I did those 3 meetings so far today. I've got 7 more client calls later today. That 60-minute call with the multi-sig people I mentioned, the 90-minute call with the with the people helping them on board. I've gotten, I think, 80 emails today um, in regards to Bitcoin advisor stuff. Not 80 new clients or not 80 new things, but I mean, every client has their own needs to be met, and so I've got to do that. I've either got to do it this evening or I've got to get up early and do it tomorrow. So one way or the other, I have to do it um, in short order here, to service them. And that all this gets back to the why, though. It's like I like people should not copy me. It's like I'm crazy. I post at least 1 YouTube video a day. I tweet like all the time. There's no algorithm. I just tweet first thing that comes to my mind. Obviously, assuming it's I gotta filter a little bit, so it's not totally stupid, but partially stupid, I guess is okay. But like I just I'm crazy. Like I'm simultaneously I'm working on multiple feature films and my real estate endeavors, and I'm trying to do my daily walks and do this and that and the other. I do take days off. I'm taking I think 2 days off for Christmas. I'm taking off, not doing any work Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. However, I'm um, still going to be seeing a lot of family and friends and catching up with them. So, I'll still be busy. But so it's not going to quite be like full on rest, but it's not work, right? I still go to small group. I've got a men's Bible small group. I still go to that, frankly, more often than what most guys in most groups attend. I attend very regularly to that. I've got friends. There's at least a few friends I call a week just to catch up, say hi, even if it's just for half an hour or so, which is really nice. Um, the other thing I'm working on today too is I'm also planning out my trips for 2024 here. I'm trying right now, or earlier today, the other thing too, yesterday I interviewed someone to potentially become an assistant of mine, because that's probably in the comments where a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Luke, you can't do this. You're not going to scale. You're going to burn out." Yes, I know, which is why I'm hiring people. I'm helping people. I'm helping other people learn multi-sig so they can teach to other people. I'm trying to vet and find people to help me edit these videos so I can scale them up. 2 days ago I had a meeting with the new editing team. Today I've been emailing with a new graphic designer. So it's like I'm constantly trying to outsource this stuff, but even the outsourcing of stuff takes time, and I can't really outsource the outsourcing, or at least yet. And so, anyway, I interviewed this person yesterday, and so I'm just like, okay, hey, help me today set up my travel stuff. So they're setting up my travel stuff. I keep getting invited to these events. So January next year, I'm hoping to go to Daytona first, then Costa Rica, then South Africa, then back to Michigan, then Guatemala, maybe Colombia after that, Madeira and Portugal. Um, what's after that? And Sydney, Australia, Warsaw, Poland, um, um, Montreal, and then we're getting to the late spring, early summer area. And I may not do all those, but it's it's totally surreal, because I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the time to do this, but I keep getting invited to these things, and I have very generous sponsors and supporters and helpers, and that's why I put so many ads in these videos, and I do as much as I can because then I get more income, so I can do these things, because I'm not going to do it. I'm doing as much traveling as I can. I'm doing as much speaking as I can. I'm doing as many YouTube videos as I can. I'm doing as many consulting calls as I can because I know that in bull market I will not have time. And that's not me being arrogant. It's just the reality. Many of you watching probably won't have time, right? Even if you don't think, you know, like, oh no, my family cares about it. It's like, even if you feel like your family and your friends don't care about Bitcoin now, they're going to come at you. They're going to ask you all these questions. You're not going to have time in the bull market. I often joke that, or not joke, it's real. The three things in Bitcoin that are finitely scarce. Number one are the Bitcoins themselves. Number two is block space. And number three is Bitcoiners' time, right? I mean, right now there's this whole ordinals inscriptions debate around fees on Bitcoin's network. But it's like, okay, opinions of that aside, like, what do you think is going to happen when companies show up? It's like these transaction fees are, I think, like they're the fourth highest ever in the last 5 years, something crazy like that. Like they're super high. These transaction fees are crazy. And this is from JPEGs and frog pictures and a bunch of like wizard people. It's like, what do you think is going to happen when the companies show up? It's like right now, like everyone buying Bitcoin are, people just YOLOing some money in Coinbase, maybe a few thousand or tens of thousands of dollars. And a few of them are taking self custody, single sig, multi sig, whatever. But it's like when the companies show up, like, what do you think transaction fees are going to do? Like everyone wants to hear, like I use clickbait in my videos because it works, right? And it's like everyone wants to hear the clickbait with, oh, look at how Bitcoin's going to skyrocket and go to the moon, right? And yeah, that's true. But it's like the same thing's going to happen with transaction fees, and the same thing's going to happen to the value of time of any Bitcoiner. Me included. Everyone I'm talking to included. The people I'm training included. The people that are helping me included. It's like all the Bitcoins are going to get sucked up. All the block space is going to get sucked up. And all the bookable hours for any educated Bitcoiner is going to get sucked up too, right? And it's like, that is like this. That's why I can't stop, because it's like all these incentives are aligned. It's like I can't stop. Like I'm crazy. I'm insane. I've been awake for I don't know, well over 24 hours now. Still got a lot of energy. Like I said, I've got, well, seven more client calls, like nine more calls today. Well, another one if you include the podcast. I mean, I'll probably go to bed about 9 p.m. tonight because I'll be really tired by then. But point being is that I got to eat dinner at some point too, so maybe a little later. But point being is that I'm insane, and you know, I talk about life balance on my YouTube channel a lot, and in general, I want people to have life balance. But I'm not claiming I have that balance. I don't right now. And I think I'm in this spot. I think God's, he's at least let me get to this spot. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm at least in this spot where I'm not married. I don't have kids. I have the brain capacity. I have the energy. And I believe it's really important. I think if Bitcoin fails or is hindered, the probability for war, whether that's local revolutions, global war, thermonuclear war, whatever, whatever degree of war, like all those degrees of war, I think become far more probable in the coming decades if Bitcoin fails. I'm in the multi-sig space because I think most Bitcoiners today are really going to want multi-sig because they're going to realize, crap, I got 100% exposure to single sig. What happens if I get hit by bus? I need a custody solution that has 0 point of failure. Like that's why I do multi-sig. I think there's a lot of money in it, and I think it's going to be a really bright future. Yes, for me, and yes, and like I mean, man, these calls I do every day, it's like, so many of these people, like it's genuine value add. I mean, like literally, I think the first call I had today, this guy told me, like, Luke, thank you so much. I cannot tell you the peace of mind I'm going to have signing up and doing this. And I was like, great, and it's like, oh, that's the thing. It's that it's like I'm this first officer or this whatever, this sailor on like a sinking ship, pointing to people to go to the lifeboats, shouting at people to go to lifeboats. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to make a lot of money probably, hopefully, Lord willing, I mean, because, yeah, if I'm the guy with the flashlight that's going to shine it on the lifeboat and get people going to the lifeboat, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be able to, make money, right? Like my hourly rate will skyrocket along with transaction fees, along with the value of Bitcoin as the value and as the perceived value and the demand for that lifeboat skyrockets. Yeah, I'm going to make a lot of money. But every person I help, that's a huge value add to them. And so it's like, that's why I can't stop because those incentives are aligned. It's like, the more I think about it, the bigger the opportunity is for me. The more I think about it, the bigger value add is for people. People with 2 coins or 5 coins or even half a coin right now, it's like, they're like, yeah, I've been putting off self custody, or yeah, I really wanted to talk to you, just to have someone to talk to because no one in my family I can talk to about this or whatever. It's like, everyone has their own story, but it's like, you know, these people begin to realize, holy cow, half a coin's a lot of money. Oh, or oh my goodness, 5 coins. I really need to get this down. And it's like these are all high net worth clients in the future. And I'm just flabbergasted that I can help so many people. I can get paid doing it, and I love it. And sometimes I love it too much. I just wish I could. Like last night, I really, really wished that last night. I was like, Luke, just go to bed, turn it off. But I would close my laptop and I would just drink a glass of water, try to rest a minute, and I just kept going back. So anyway, my long rambling point is that, my hope for you is that you have a balanced life approach when it comes to Bitcoin, especially if you have kids, especially if you have family. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't I it's like I'm not normal. I'm doing an incredible number of calls, an incredible number of content, an incredible amount of content, incredible number of tweets. I could stay awake an incredible number of hours on incredibly far too few calories, you know, and then I'll probably eat a huge dinner tonight, go to bed at 9 p.m., sleep, I don't know, 10, 11 hours, get up at 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow, do it all over again, right? But not stay up overnight. I really try not to do that because I know it's bad for me. But anyway, um, yeah, in a couple of years, I think I'll look back and it will be insane. Um, yeah, I my fear, what keeps me up at night is the nightmare. I texted Peter Dunworth and a few others last night about this fear, but it's just nightmares of um, not having time. I'm scared of a bull market and everyone's demanding my time. Everyone's demanding everyone I know all their time, and there's just not enough time because at that given moment, demand is skyrocketing beyond supply in terms of bitcoins, in terms of block space, and in terms of time from Bitcoiners able to help the newbies. And that just terrifies me. Like, I don't want to say no to churches that want to onboard to Bitcoin. I don't want to say no to the small mom and pop stores. I don't want to say no to the single mom with, zero point 0.6 coins or 2 coins or whatever. Like I don't want to have to say no to just the everyday folks because now the big companies are in and they're paying 10 times the fees and buying 10 times the coins. They're willing to pay 10 times the hour. Like, but it's the trade-off. I mean, it's just the reality. Like I know I like I know people tell me like, oh, you just gotta do what you can. You know, like I get it. I get it. I know that no matter what I do, no matter how much I do, you can't help everyone, right? I mean, you just can't. People make their own decisions, right? It's not like I act as the savior of someone, like, oh, it's all because of me. It's none of that ego stuff. It's just, you know, it's the ideas that change people's minds. It's their own decisions that change people's minds. But it's just, I know that no matter how quickly I grow, no matter how many people I reach with the message, no matter how many people I help set up their multi-sig vaults, no matter how many people I set up their single sig vaults, no matter how much I do, no matter how many movies I make, no matter how many videos I make, no matter how many tweets I tweet or posts I post, no matter how much I do, there's always going to be more, right? Because the supply of my time, no matter how much time I give, no matter how many all nighters are pulled, no matter how many calls I fit in, the demand's always going to outpace it, you know. So that's the irony. And so anyway, I wish, but the funny thing is that's how you know you're early to Bitcoin is because like for me, that gets me so bullish because it's like I know I'm way out on the bell curve. I'm crazy. And I'm, that's where Bitcoin's adoption is. They're all crazy. They're all disagreeable. They're all hyper toxic. They're all Bitcoin maxis, and it's like we are insane. And like that's how you know it's early to Bitcoin because I wish I wish I could stop thinking about it. But for the sake of preventing war, for the sake of my kids, right? I mean, if there's going to be war in 20 years, that's my kids when they're growing up. It's like, for the sake of my kids, for the sake of my financial future, making as much money as I can, for the sake of bringing as much value to other people as I possibly can, for the sake of advancing humanitarian efforts as much as I possibly can. And frankly, because it's fun and it engages my brain and I can't turn it off, I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going nonstop. And, I'll eventually slow down. But right now, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that little bit. And me, the guy in the call I was just on said I should share that. So anyway, I shared that. I got to go now because I've got a call I got to do. So anyway, hope that was interesting.